Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Welcome back, Catholic pilgrims. St. Augustine basically asked the questions that I asked yesterday. Where in the memory is God? How is the understanding of him stored? Let's hear about that on page 230, reading from Book 10, Chapter 25. But in which part of my memory are you present, O Lord? What cell have you constructed for yourself in my memory? What sanctuary have you built there for yourself? That you should be present in it is a great honor, but I must now ask myself in what part of it you are present. When I remind myself of you, I go beyond those functions of the memory which I share with the beasts, for I did not find you amongst the images of material things. I went on to search for you in the part of my memory where the emotions of my mind are stored, but here too I did not find you. I passed on to the seat of the mind itself, for this too is in the memory, since the mind can remember itself, but you were not there. For you are not the image of a material body, nor are you an emotion such as felt by living men when they are glad or sorry, when they have sensations of desire or fear, when they remember or forget, or when they experience any other feeling. In the same way, you are not the mind itself, for you are the Lord God of the mind. All these things are subject to change, but you remain supreme over all things, immutable. And yet you have deigned to be present in my memory ever since I first learned of you. Why do I ask what place is set aside in my memory as your dwelling, as if there were distinctions of place in the memory? Truly, you do dwell in it, because I remember you ever since I first came to learn of you, and it is there that I find you when I am reminded of you. When I was, 14, I went to a Christian camp with my best friend for a week in the summer. And this was a Protestant camp, as we were both Protestant. Now, I'm not big into camps and such, so I wasn't super thrilled to be going, but my best friend had been before and assured me that it was great. Well, for me, it wasn't. I just didn't enjoy it one bit. I even contemplated running away to a gas station on the highway to call my parents to come get me at one point. Anyway, one of the reasons I didn't like it was because every evening we had praise and worship time. Now, I'm not a huge fan of praise and worship time, as I find it is usually cringy and I don't like most praise and worship songs. You can, that is fine, it just doesn't speak to me. So during the praise and worship time, all the kids would be encouraged to raise their hands in the air to quote unquote feel the Lord. And everyone did, except me. I can't stand that kind of stuff, and so I refused. If I did it, it would have been simply to join the crowd, and that has always felt disingenuous to me. Well, because of my lack of involvement, I stood out like a sore thumb, and the camp counselors were on the case. And at one point, they took me to the back and lectured me that if I didn't do this, I didn't really love Jesus. Now, I knew that wasn't true, but they told me that this is how you feel Jesus, and it shows your love. I'm a stubborn one, so I continued to refuse, and they made me sit in the back. St. Augustine says about God in our memory, quote, "Nor are you an emotion such as is felt by living men when they are glad or sorry," unquote. Do I get emotional over God? Sure, all the time. There are things that hit me particularly hard. But God isn't just the feeling of an emotion. He isn't an emotion, like St. Augustine says, and you don't need to be emotional to love Jesus. And a lot of people are led to believe that if they don't have this overwhelming emotional experience every time they go to Mass, well, then it must not be true, it must not be the right place, because, well, they just aren't getting anything out of it. That's not true. Each person has a different disposition, and different things will speak more than others. But we are not required to associate God with strictly emotional feelings. That is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. Hurry back soon, and until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.